Okay, so cons. What did you have issues with? If you had any issues with the show so far.
So I know we're only on episode 2, so I can't really say that much about the backstories. But when it comes to some of the flashbacks they've had so far, maybe this is just because I'm coming right off of One Piece, which has like some of the best flashbacks in anime and manga. Uh, Sometimes I feel like the flashbacks were a little bit lacking in this one. For the sake of pacing, you know, the show is trying to be really fast, and I could imagine they wouldn't want to cut away to a extremely long flashback just to see a character's backstory, and I can understand that. But there are also times where I feel like not enough was said in some of the flashbacks, and not in the way that really makes me want to know more about a situation, but more in the way that I'm just kind of left like, huh, okay. So, why should I really care about this character? Like, with your waifu, um, I get her
Hold your
backstory.
tongue. You better hold your tongue, man.
I will not hold my tongue.
If you're
This is
gonna
one of
tr-
the things I was thinking.
if you're gonna trash talk my waifu, bring it, man. But we're gonna get into some stuff then.
So here's the thing. Yeah, she was really cute, and
Yeah.
that's what I think pushed her character more than anything. Not to mention her reactions in the present day were really nice.
Come on, she's adorable. How could you?
No, I like her in the present day, but I think that the backstory should have, or at least could have, shown a little bit more about why I should care about the dojo, why I should care about her former master, whoever that was,
I
the
mean,
sword.
we obviously haven't gotten to that. The it's mainly been about Memoria. It's Memoria Jin. I don't know his names. We got like researchers later get these names right. I swear, but like it's been mainly about him. I think we are going to get some episodes, but I am kind of concerned because you do know the episode count, right?
The final episode count?
Yeah.
No.
So from my understanding, it's going to be 13 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. So a little concerning. Is that enough?
Yeah,
But you know, hopefully it does well enough they can do multiple seasons. So
yeah. It's just one of those things where the show is moving very fast, and we are only on episode 2, so people that have read the comics can probably go like, no, no, her backstory is amazing, and I'm sure it is. It's just we've seen a little bit of the backstory so far. The story has cut away and shown us it. It's just I haven't seen a lot of reason to care. Same thing with the other characters' backstories. Like I know the big guy, not like the elephant schlong guy, the big guy in the main trio. He like needs the money for some reason. I think it was for an operation. I don't
yeah,
know. I forgot.
I think that they're like doing some foreshadowing. That's what it feels like because it does
Yeah,
feel like so a main character is doing it because he wants, but feels like these other guys kind of got blackmailed or something, or kind of forced into it.
yeah. Like I could see. Like the thing is, I don't want everything to be like just laid bare like it is in One Piece sometimes. Like I'm not asking this series to be One Piece. What I am kind of wanting though is like we have some mysteries set up, right? Where like we don't really know the main character's beef with Blondie quite yet. We don't really know why he wants to be the strongest ever. The whole shonen shit. We don't quite know why, and I think that's fine. I think it's fine to have that mystery there. It's just if the show is going to take the time to cut away, but we're not really being shown anything that interesting. It is just kind of character motivation, like take my sword and find a worthy successor. Like, who are you? Like, I know less about him than the grandpa from Beyblade. So that's
Hey,
just one of my things.
but to be fair, the grandpa from Beyblade is like badass, man. Like, you do not diss the grandpa from Blade, okay?
Especially the way he talks. Yeah, man, little dude, go with that crunk blader stuff, man. Like,
Have you watched Blade recently?
I haven't watched
like
recently.
the newest stuff.
I've seen Burst, but not the newest Burst. Like, I've seen the OG Burst with
Volt.
what's his name? Yeah, like Vault Owie and Valtryek and all that.
Yeah, Blade. The episodes I've seen of Blade Plus, it's actually pretty good. I like it. So.
Yeah, it seems pretty good.
Yeah. So, you were saying?
Yeah, that's just kind of my thing with the pacing so far. Is like it's really good. I like how fast it is, and if we're only gonna get a couple of episodes in the entire season so far, series possibly, then yeah, I would want it to be fast. But at the same time, I would just want a reason to care about the characters beyond just seeing Jin punch people. And don't get me wrong, seeing Jin punch people is really fun, and he punches people in a really unique way.
Oh, yeah.
But I just don't know anything about Jin, or about the girl, or about the tall guy. Hell, I don't even know their names. I assume the guy's name is Jin. That's the name that's coming to me, but I honestly forgot.
If you guys in the chat and comments want to correct us on names, please help us. Like we're lost puppies right now. So
yeah, like it's one of those things where I just haven't really read a lot of webtoons. I have not read this particular webtoon, and I saw this show very recently.
Yeah.
So I'm sorry, people who are hardcore fans of this that are watching. I have no idea what the hell.
Hey, if it helps the YouTube algorithm, so be it. We need to piss a couple people off.
Yeah. There's going to be people who are going to jump on to defend you, just like, how dare you not give a damn about Mia or whatever the hell her name was, the girl? Like, right away, Karakuro, or Xander is what you're calling me. Like, how dare you not give a damn about her backstory, which was laid out over the course of 5 seconds?
Like, Xander, how can you dish my waifu, man? Like, I'm mad.
It's because you need the best waifu. The dreadlock guy's underwear.
You just have trash tasting waifus, I think.
No, that's the best waifu. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Her character introduction was the best in all of anime.
Just finish your negatives.
Really, that was the big one that was getting me. Oh yeah, there was another thing of, it's just kind of a cartoony thing, but or it could just have to do with Jin's character. I don't know. We don't have an episode 3, so I can't really say if this is even a con yet, since I don't have the full story. But when Jin, I assume his name is main character Goku guy, came and broke up the match between the dreadlock guy and like the really calm, serene martial arts guy, that I don't know. That was kind of bullshit to me. I don't know if it actually is.
What part was bullshit?
And it was in episode 2 when.
Well, I know what you were talking about, but like, what made it bullshit to you? Like, what specifically upset you?
So it's one of those things where, like, up until this point, we haven't really seen Jin, like, I don't know how to put this. So we don't know quite why Jin wants to punch the blonde guy in the face so hard or so bad. I mean, he lost to him, I assume, in the past. We did get that little flashback, but like, I would think that his character motivation would be to stick through to the tournament so he'd be able to do that. I mean, we've seen him chase after the bike thief guy, so we do know that he has a bit of
Well, I mean,
the justice in his heart.
I hate to be cliche, but he's main character.
Yeah, like the thing is, I get that he's Goku.
The main character archetype, you know, he's not gonna let just stand by and let someone get tortured, even if that would cause him. Though you could also make the argument maybe he didn't fully understand the rules and the consequences.
Well, I mean, at the same time, when they apprehended him, he was just like, "Oh yeah, I want to fight you, Blondie. Hey, let's do it now." And it kind of came across as the typical dumb shonen main character, where like up until that point he didn't seem like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just because I didn't register him as quite the Goku Luffy type in terms of brain power, but like,
I mean, I guess the way to like look at the show, it's just like a collection of a lot of shonen cliches and stuff, but it embraces that.
and I get that, and I really like shows like that sometimes, but at the same time, it doesn't. In some regards, like it does seem like a celebration of shonen at the same time as being something really different. And Jin at first seemed like a more modern take on the Goku Luffy type character, but now that he's kind of shown his colors about how kind of short-sighted and kind of stupid he is, he kind of bleeds more with those characters, and I don't really know if I agree with that characterization quite that much. Like, it's one of those things where I like how he didn't just sit there and go, well, this is a tournament, and the guy's getting his ass beat, so, oh well. You know, I think that's just a bit too Hunter x Hunter on the side of, like, cynicism, but, like, it is one of those things where it did kind of catch me off guard that all of a sudden he just seems like a dumbass. Yeah, like really short-sighted, really like, I'm gonna beat you up right now, Blondie, because I just saved my friend who I met 5 seconds ago. And I don't know. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way, although we don't have the full story. I mean, technically we do, but, you know, we don't have the full story in anime form.
Yeah.
So I can't really make an actual judgment on that, because...
And plus, the web comic isn't even finished yet, so it's still an ongoing series, so...
Yeah, like, really, that was just my impression based on the little bit of Gene's character that I saw before that point. Honestly, he could have always been meant to be that kind of character, and because the anime is going a lot faster than the webtoon, it could be just that we haven't seen a lot of the more Goku side to his personality, and it just came out at that moment. I don't know, so I wouldn't even really call that as an actual con. That was more of something that made me go, oh, okay, we're doing Luffy now. All right. So, yeah, that was basically the only cons that I could think of off the top of my head. Again, I don't have notes. I'm just going off of what I saw earlier today.
Well, I got notes. I actually took notes, man. I actually came prepared. I'm actually taking this seriously.
Oh, well, that's what you get for putting on a video game character.
Yeah, video game characters, man. Anyway, so, my cons. Okay, so... let's talk about how episode 1 opened up. The whole weird conspiracy, mountain formings and stuff. Like, I don't know. When the episode first started with the conspiracy stuff, I wasn't like buying out. I was like, oh, did I make a mistake choosing to do this show? Like I was hoping I was gonna like it, but like nothing's happening really. You know.
Yeah, it was something that I even forgot about until you mentioned it now. It was just that
so
unmemorable.
It took like a good like 3 to 5 minutes until I really even a tiny bit got invested in the show. So, and that kind of brings me to another con. Instead of having the whole conspiracy stuff, they should have just uh, start the episode with Memori's flashback. I feel like that would have been such a better idea.
Yeah, like there were a bunch of places where they could have started, and I don't think the conspiracy is one of them. Like it's one of those things where I don't know, stories do this a lot where they show you something where like you have no idea what the hell's going on, and it's not particularly interesting either. You know, it's not like dudes fighting each other. It is like the sand has changed. So like I don't get why they started it like that. That's not particularly interesting. It was so unmemorable that I didn't even remember it until now. So when it comes back into the anime, like
Yeah,
eventually, and it becomes important,
I mean they
I'm
do kind of explore more about it in like episode 2.
like a little bit, but I still don't know what the hell's going on. And
Yeah,
like when it actually becomes pertinent to what's going on with Gene in the tournament and whatnot, then I'm just gonna be like, oh yeah, that was that thing. Okay, that's what that was. You know, I'm I'm with you there. I'm just not really into that type cold open.
yeah. So, okay, so let's do this. Let's talk about the product placement. The
I knew
more,
this was coming.
the more, like since when, like before we even started the episode, did you know that I would probably bring up the product placement?
Yeah, from our talk before the show and from your mention during the pro segment.
Wait, I talk from like before. I didn't even mention product placement when we were talking before.
Yeah, not the product placement, but the streaming services.
Okay, okay, I can, yeah. Okay, so, do you find it weird for Crunchyroll to have project placement and the Crunchyroll original, or is it just me?
Nah, I don't think it's that weird.
I'm,
I think it's just the
I,
same thing that Shonen Jump does.
I mean, what's the purpose though? What does it
I mean,
serve? Like
it fills
the
out details in the world, like having although like the thing is that arena stage would have product placement on it no matter what.
okay, so yeah, they have a plot reason, but let's be real. There was like a real world reason to put like the product placement in there, and I'm trying to figure out what would that serve, because like ideally the reason people do product placement is so other people can be exposed to your brand. But this is a Crunchyroll original, so people watching this already know what Crunchyroll is, right?
Well, yeah, but I don't really feel like that was in there to be product placement.
Okay.
I think that was in there just to be a detail in the world. I mean, hell, I would write something like that if I had a big arena stage. Then, and it had a bunch of sponsors in it that were meant to just fill out the detail in the world. Yeah, I'd probably put in Karakuro somewhere in there.
Oh no, yeah, but I feel like it's more like, oh, here we are. Don't forget, this is a product placement, and this kind of goes to one of my other things. Is it just me, or does this show kind of feel like one giant ad?
It does.
Oh,
I'm not gonna lie. It
okay.
did a little bit.
I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because
Oh yeah, I mean,
if it can expose people to webtoons and check out webcomics and maybe get like other webcomics, their own anime, so be it. But like that can be kind of concerning since this is one big giant ad. Are they gonna put effort towards it?
I mean, I wouldn't say that that's that much of an issue. We've seen very clearly so far that this is quality, and we were just talking about Beyblade being pretty good, and that
Yeah.
is definitely a big toy ad.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't think that really stops it from being a good show, and it certainly hasn't stopped it so far.
Yeah. I don't know if this is kind of random, but have you seen the Power Ranger movie? Not the like old '90s one, but the more recent one.
No.
Oh, okay. Uh, I can't do my comparison, but some people in the chat. So I won't spoil, but like they do product placement in that to the extreme, to the point where it becomes a significant plot point.
I mean, I remember
And I'm not.
watching the Sonic movie recently and having them mention this shit like, yeah, that's the best thing ever. The best thing since Olive Garden made the new Unlimited Bowl. I forgot what exactly it was. It was something like that.
Which product placement was that for? What company was it?
I I think
Eh,
it was I think it was Olive Garden. I don't know. It was in the Sonic movie. It was for some restaurant, and they would cut away for like a solid minute or two to do
yeah,
a gag
yeah.
about it, and it's just that felt a little unnatural. With this show, it at least feels like a natural part of the world. I don't know if they even intended on it feeling that way or feeling like product placement. Again, because I didn't see any other like products there, I didn't see anything like Pepsi or Mountain Dew
Yeah,
or McDonald's.
I guess it could be more of a treat would be like because this is a big deal. Like Crunchyroll adapting webtoons so that they could be celebrating that. I guess that is one way to look at it, right?
Yeah, like having it appear like a big celebration of webtoons really doesn't rub me the wrong way,
Oh,
or
oh,
of
oh, oh,
Crunchyroll
oh,
even.
oh
Just because Crunchyroll is the reason why this is even happening,
yeah.
as like iffy as a company Crunchyroll can be
Yeah,
sometimes.
yeah. To kind of cut off, someone in the YouTube chat, Azenzo, who's like a co-host for Freak here, he said it was Olive Garden.
Yeah, yeah. And that one did weird me out a little bit. Not as much as it weirded out some other people. Like some other people were just like, "Man, this movie is trash because of that Olive Garden reference."
What?
No, it was fine.
Really? Really? People freaked
Yeah,
out.
people freaked over that.
I,
It was mostly just talking heads on YouTube. I
I,
feel the irony there, but
I mean, I feel like there were other concerns, like before the movie came out, like his old design. I could understand
well,
being upset over that, but like Olive Garden,
yeah. I mean, this was the post movie
yeah.
controversy when it comes to that. Like after no one really
Hmm.
talked about the original design
Yeah.
anymore, people hopped on the Olive Garden and just kind of generally how painfully average the movie was. And I agree with that, but
Playful.
I still had a lot of fun with it.
I actually like really liked it. Like I can't wait for the sequel. Like I'm so like mm, hyped for that. Whenever that comes out,
Yeah, we'll see.
we kind of are in a pandemic, so
Yeah, just a little bit.
uh, wait, am I allowed to say that on YouTube?
I don't know. Pretty
Uh,
sure you are,
uh,
but I don't know.
Watch. They're not gonna recommend my video now. So
Was that? Do I hear helicopters outside? Open the door, please. No. Well, I think it'll be fun.
okay, so yeah, product placement. Maybe I'm making a big deal, but like I think it's something to talk about and stuff. But did you feel like the first episode started and like a couple seconds later it just ended?
Yeah, for me it was yeah. For me it was like from the stinger card to the end was like a minute, but the beginning wasn't quite. The beginning did feel a little bit
Yeah,
longer.
I mean we did watch like both episodes like today, so we kind of hurry, so maybe that's why it felt fast. But like,
I mean, I think it was also because in the first half of the first episode, it was really slow and it was just building up the conspiracy that I still don't know what the hell's going on with. But then with the second half of the episode, we're really getting into things, and the show just kicked into high gear, no pun intended, on the motorcycle.
Oh yeah.
And then episode 2 happens, and we get even more of the. We get a little bit of backstory that did go a little slow, but then we get the big battle royale scene. We have the dreadlock guy fight that Gene broke up. That went by really fast too, and maybe that's just another reason why I thought it was a little out of left field. Is just because this show was going so fast for me that I didn't have the time to really process Gene's character before he stepped into the ring in another person's fight. That could have just been part of it.
Yeah. Okay. You were kind of tripping me out for a second there, because I'm not like staring at the Discord screen. I'm staring at the Streamlabs screen, and for whatever reason, your like audio went out of sync, and I'm like, whoa. So I think it's fixed now. So.
Okay.
Uh, uh, so yeah, like the pacing. Okay, so I kind of made this point of like some of my problem ish with the fight scene. So like I just want this to be a dumb action show. Like I forget the like conspiracy stuff and like crazy dog story plot. Like just make this a fun like action tournament show. But it doesn't feel like they're gonna do that. They want to try and have some dark, deep plot, you know. Which
Yeah.
I like shows of that, but I don't know. I just want this to be a dumb, fun action show. You know what I'm talking about? But I have a feeling it's not gonna be. So I feel like that's what's gonna hold the show back. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I get you. Those are some of the details that you like when you're already super into the show.
Mm-hmm.
But putting it in the beginning, I don't really know if that was the best choice, especially since how balls to the wall fast this
Well,
anime is going.
I'm just talking about this show doesn't need a deep plot. Just have cool action and like a fun action show is all I'm asking.
Yeah, like I'm not really sure how long they could run it like that, but if it is only getting 12 or 13 episodes, then well, I don't really know if we even have time for a conspiracy
I
like that.
I know there's probably a lot of people who don't like dumb action shows, and that's fine. But I feel like this would this show could be a lot better if it would just focus on dumb fun action. I feel like I'm probably in the minority when it comes to that, but me personally, I feel like that would be better. So
I mean, my only thing with that is this is based on a webtoon, so that could just be influencing it.
yeah.
Like dumb fun action shows are generally just that. They're shows first.
Mhm.
Things like Gurren Lagann didn't have manga.
Don't you dare. Gurren Lagann is way more than a dumb action show. Like its plot is serious and legit. Like I really do. I don't think people gives Gurren Lagann's like story enough credit. Like I think it does have a deep, meaningful philosophy to it. That people tend to overlook.
Well, you can have that while still having a dumb fun action show. Just because you're not going deep into backstory and lore every 2 seconds doesn't mean that you have to completely issue detail. What I'm saying is like the super mega action oriented shows generally started as shows, whereas if you're gonna start from a comic book, you're generally gonna have a lot more story just because having a bazillion panels of nothing but punching is going to get very tiring very quickly. So even a show where people like say so like even something like Dragon Ball where everybody says that it's basically just punching the anime, it's not. Like most of the panels in that manga have no punching in it at all, and the show reflects that.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
people remember that.
It's just Goku charging the Spirit Bomb for like 10 episodes.
So everyone jokes about that, but after a recent rewatch and reread of the manga before my One Piece reread, um, I actually didn't really find that to be the case that often. Most of the time, they were going over backstory, they were going over details of their characters, there were a lot of banter. You did have really long sequences where Goku was just sitting there with his hands up for the entire episode,
I know
but like
I'm making jokes, man. I gotta make the show interesting.
I get that, but I've seen enough people actually think that the show is like that they get turned off from it and don't watch it.
Really?
I'm just like that. Yeah, that.
I
I'm just
mean,
like that's not the case.
I mean, watch the show for yourself. Make your own judgment.
Yeah, like just because you have a dumb action show doesn't mean that you either have to pad it out with Goku going, "Ha! Ha!" or like you just have to have punching for a million panels. You can have a dumb action show and have it have deeper themes. So I think that this show could delve into the conspiracy aspect. I have no idea how the hell it's going to tie into the tournament, but
Yeah,
you know, whatever. Haven't read comics.
I'm not even paying attention to the conspiracy stuff. If I'm being honest, I'm just toning it out and focused on the action stuff. And I feel like that's kind of bad because once we get really deep into the conspiracy stuff, I'm gonna be lost because I haven't really been paying attention.
Yeah, that even happened with me with a visual novel that I read recently, where
Which one?
it was called Gorgon Chamber X.
Oh, yeah.
And
I know the game you're talking about. You've told me about it. So
yeah, there's a part kind of early on where there's a character talking to the camera, and he's doing like a log, kind of like a captain's log in a Star Trek or whatever. And everything he says is jargon. Went way over my head, and I was just watching, and it's 5 minutes long, and I'm just like, why are you starting with this? And then halfway through the game, it made sense, but by then I completely forgot what the guy even said. So I had to go back and start a new game and actually rewatch the opening just because I had no idea what the hell he said and they were referencing it. I feel like this show might do the same thing just because it's going so balls to the wall fast that they might not do a repeat of that scene, and I might have to go back and rewatch it.
yeah,
Just because
luckily, it's there's only 13 episodes. If I'm right about the episode count, and also there is the webcomic, which is free. So
yeah, I just don't think that you should have to
Oh
read a comic
yeah.
for
I feel
to
like
understand the show.
I feel like an adaptation should speak on its own. So
Yeah, it's kind of like whenever CinemaSins posts a video and everyone in the comments is just like, well, you should have read the books. The books would tell you. And it's just like, no, I'm sorry. The movie should stand on its own. I shouldn't have to do homework to understand what I'm watching on the screen.
oh, and there's the classic read the manga endings.
Yeah. I goes double if they legit just cut the show at the halfway point and they're just like, okay, we're done making the anime, read the manga. The end. It's just
What? Wait, what? You're gonna do what? No, I want.
yeah. And bonus points if they make up like a half-assed ending that like is obvious that it is not the true ending. There's just so many animes that do that.
Or there's the cases where you can't even like continue from that point. You pretty much have to start reading the manga from chapter 1 because they didn't introduce a major important character that was important
Yeah.
put in the manga in the anime. so you're like, wait, who is this? And then you have to go read back. I'm not talking about any manga in particular. Dead Man Wonderland. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah, Dead Man Wonderland, Katekyo Hitman Reborn. Oh, you're watching the anime? That's cute. Start over.
Wait,
Like,
I watched a little bit of Hitman Reborn. Wait, there was like a manga exclusive character that wasn't in the anime?
not characters, but a lot of plot lines and details to the
Well,
point where if
I'm talking about full blown characters.
I think there were a few, but they were mostly filler.
Like Dead Man Wonderland was one of them. Like there was a
Yeah, Dead Man Wonderland. That
yeah, there was a certain important character that like had a big impact and motivation for Ganta that they didn't include in the anime. Like for a while, when I was reading the manga, I mistook it from another character that was introduced in the anime. It took me for a while to figure out it was a manga exclusive character. So
yeah. So like it's just one of those things where I wouldn't really paint it at like I'm not gonna say that it's something horrible. I'm not gonna say that most anime fans are even going to mind because I'm used to anime fans telling me, "Hey, stick it out till episode 120, then it gets good." It's just like,
I don't got that
no,
time.
no, I don't got that time. So you know, if the average anime fan is not going to be bothered by 7 minutes of exposition in the beginning. But just, you know, for me, as a mostly game guy, yeah, that 7 minutes did kind of impact the pacing a little bit, especially with how fast this show is moving.
Yeah,
But for the most part, I don't think most people are really gonna give a shit.
yeah. I was just concerned because we had to do an after show. I'm like, what if I don't like this show? Well, you know.
Yeah, I gotta admit, I had the same reaction when you were just like, "Hey, we're watching God of High School," and I sat down and I was just like,
Okay, I didn't say like that. I asked you. You could have said no. You
"Yeah,
made
but I didn't know anything about the series." You were just like, "Hey, watch God of High School; it's real good," and I was like, "Okay."
I didn't know so it was real good. So the reason I chose you was because it was based on a webcomic, and you know you're in the whole indie scene. I thought you were a good choice.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I wasn't going to say no, and I wasn't going to think that I wouldn't even like this show. It's just I booted it up and I saw the beginning, and I was like, "Oh, we're doing one of those beginnings."
We're like
Good.
nothing's happening. I thought this was about like kids in high school beating the hell out of each other. You know, and I'm like,
Yeah,
what's with this like Men in Black, FBI, the government conspiracy shit?
I mean, granted, I
And,
still stuck it out because, you know, I still kind of knew what the show would be. And hell, I figured out about the first time I heard about it wasn't even from you, it was from the opening appearing on my YouTube feed. And I watched it and it was sick as hell.
oh yeah, that
So,
opening.
so I knew it was going to go somewhere. And at the
Hopefully,
same time, the one webtoon that I do read is it has a very different beginning compared to like how it evolves. So I'm kind of used to webtoon doing that.
oh yeah, webtoons and like webcomics in general are like known for like evolving and changing and just like improving over time. So that's like
Yeah, I mean,
the magical thing about webtoons.
yeah, especially as a fellow indie creator, I could definitely get that. It's just my medium is a little bit different. Where like with a game, you're not going to be working on the same one for like 10 years. You're going to break it up into chunks. So, you know, it's noticeable when somebody changes over time if you keep up with them. But if you keep up with their games, it's not as noticeable. If that makes any sense. Like,
Yeah, because they don't publish the older version. You only see the finished fine-tuned version. Versus
yeah.
a webcomic, once it's done, they kind of release it, and you do kind of get to see the art style and quality like change like week by week. I think that's a magical thing about webcomics.
Yeah, like another aspect is if you wanted to play, say, Xander, you could play Xander the Monster Morpher Universe Breaker and get my recent 2018 to 2019 work, and you don't have to play anything prior to that. You just get my modern
I,
work.
I,
But if
I,
you read a webtoon and it's an ongoing webtoon, it's been going on for God knows how long, then if you go back to the beginning of that same webtoon, you're going to get their OG art style, and that is something that's very different.
yeah. So like the thing we kind of know on the cons. Like my major con is I just kind of want it to be a dumb action show, and like okay, you gotta have that balance. You know, I shouldn't judge the show based on what I want. You know,
Yeah,
I
like
should judge it based on what it's giving me and what it is. You know.
yeah, like there are definitely dumb action segments, but I mean, I can't really judge this as a dumb action show if it's clearly just not going to be that.
Yes. So, but are there any cons you want to talk of a cons? Anything you want to add before we head into the next segment?
Not quite. I think I've went over basically everything.